Hi, I'm Climate Savage. I do Biology A level, and in this video we're going to be looking at how to understand energy transfer. This is under the topic ecosystems and sustainability, and we're going to be describing how energy is transferred through ecosystems, how energy transfer between trophic levels can be maintained, and we can also discuss the efficiency of energy transfer between trophic levels. Now, to start off with, what is a trophic level? Well, a trophic level is the level at which an organism feeds in a food chain. Now, within an ecosystem, living organisms are usually members of more than one food chain, and they often feed at different trophic levels in different chains. Drawing these food chains together as a food web can help us understand how energy flows through the whole ecosystem. To give you an idea of a food web, this is what one looks like. If you can see it here. So this is the difference between a food web and a food chain. You see the food chain here? There's a really big difference. A food chain is basically the ones with the set producer, one primary consumer, next secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. But life doesn't happen like that. You don't have one set food chain. They're all interweaved, they're all interlinked. Now, at each trophic level, some energy is lost from a food chain, and it's therefore unavailable to be transferred to the next organism at the next trophic level. But at each trophic level, the living organisms need energy to carry out life processes. Respiration releases energy from organic molecules like glucose, and some of this energy is eventually converted to heat. The energy remains stored in dead organisms and waste material, and when it's in this state, it's only available to decomposers like fungi and bacteria, which can use it. This waste material includes the parts of animal and plants that can't be digested by the consumers. Because of this, there's obviously less energy to sustain, there's less energy available to sustain the living tissues at a higher level of the food chain, and less living tissue therefore can be kept alive because of the waste material that's produced. When the organism's in a food chain about the same size, this means there'll be fewer consumers at the higher levels. Now, ecologists draw a pyramid of numbers to represent this idea. The area of each bar in the pyramid is proportional to the number of individuals. Now, pyramids can be drawn for in the individual food chains or for an ecosystem as a whole. It fell down. I wonder if that's going to be really loud in the video, or if it's going to be quiet. Might get to see my computer screen for a second. Okay. So when we're talking about the pyramids, we've got to look at how to measure the efficiency of energy transfer. Now, to start off with a pyramid of biomass. A pyramid of biomass, it's when you count the number of organisms, it doesn't always provide an accurate picture about how much living tissue actually exists at each level. Because think about, there could be like 2 foxes, but these eat loads and loads and loads of mice and stuff. So a pyramid of numbers, not that great. So a better approach is to draw a pyramid of biomass, and where the area of the bars are proportional to the dry mass of all the organisms at that trophic level. To do this properly, now this is a direct quote from the book, not from me. So from the book, to do this properly, an ecologist would collect all the organisms and put them in an oven at 80 degrees until all the water in them has been evaporated. Yeah, that's not very nice, yeah, but fair. And the next line is, unfortunately, doing this is rather destructive to the ecosystem being studied. Well, that's not rather destructive, is it? That's like just killing everything. I can't really think of any organisms that would be able to survive that you're genuinely fine in studying non-volcanoes like volcanoes. You can't call that rather destructive. That is very destructive. Anyway, in here it says it's rather destructive to the ecosystem being studied. So ecologists often just prefer to measure the wet mass of the organisms, that's fair, and calculate the dry mass on the basis of previously published data. So people have done it in the past. But however, even pyramids of biomass still present problems. Different species can release different amounts of energy per unit of mass. And because of stuff like this, ecologists sometimes prefer to construct a pyramid of energy. This involves Quote from the book, this involves burning the organisms at something called a calorimeter and working out how much heat energy is released per gram. This is calculated from the temperature rise of a known mass of water. Then it says, given that this is destructive and also rather time-consuming. It's time-consuming? Poor you guys having to burn all the organisms. So anyway, it's destructive and time-consuming. So ecologists often revert to using pyramids of biomass instead. However, even pyramids of energy have limitations. They only take a snapshot of an ecosystem at one time. Say you do it, and that's only a snapshot of it in winter. You don't have it for over summer, all the different times. And population sizes can really fluctuate. So this may provide a distorted idea of the efficiency of energy transfer. Therefore, ecologists often look at the rate at which energy passes through each trophic level, and then they draw a pyramid of energy flow. And this rate of energy is called productivity. Productivity gives an idea of how much energy is available to the organisms at a particular trophic level per unit area, which is usually 1 square metre, and in a given amount of time, and it says in the book it's usually 1 year. This is measured in kilojoules or megajoules of energy per square metre per year. At the base of the food chain, the productivity of plants is called the primary productivity. And the gross primary productivity is the rate at which plants convert light energy into chemical energy. However, because energy is lost when the plant respires, less energy is available to the primary consumer. This remaining energy is called the net primary productivity, which can be shortened to NPP. If you want some key definitions there, you could do a megajoule. That is 1 million joules or 1,000 kilojoules. And the rate at which each energy passes through each trophic level in a food chain is a measure of the productivity. Now, you got some questions about that? It's not that bad. It's a bit annoying in places, but it's not that bad. You could explain why an ecologist might prefer to draw a food web instead of a food chain. Or you could also explain why they prefer to draw a pyramid of energy instead of a pyramid of biomass. Or explain why they often revert to using pyramids of biomass instead of pyramids of energy. You could suggest why there are fewer individuals at higher trophic levels in a food chain, and why most food chains have no more than 5 stages. You could also suggest why primary productivity in higher tropical regions, suggest why primary productivity is higher in trophic regions than in more temperate regions. Could say what happens to the energy remains stored in dead organisms and waste material, and if this can be used. And define trophic level. So that is a lot of questions to be getting on with. I hope that this has helped you. Also, by the way, there is a fantastic blog I have come across on Tumblr. They've sent me a message about it, like asking to get it out. If you do have Tumblr, it's really good because it's really helpful with revision. They've only just started up. They're called biologyrevision1word.tumblr.com. They literally post just bits of biology revision. They've got, if you're doing AS, I think this would be mainly better. I can't actually. Now, if you do AS or A2, they've only just started up, so they will be getting even better. Yep. So follow them, biologyrevision.tumblr.com. They're really great. Check out their page and follow them. Good luck with your A-level biology. If you're on half term now, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're finished, I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this in a couple of years to come, go do your homework. Alright, bye.